everybody, I'm Caitlin, one of the youth librarians at Skokie Public Library, and I'm here tonight with Shelley and Gudrun, two librarians who shine bright. And that's a good thing because it's that time of the year where the days are getting shorter and we're spending more time in the dark.
Did you know that there's actually a tool that was developed to measure the night sky? It's called the Bortle scale. This scale assigns a number based on the amount of light you can see at night. A 1 is really, really dark, great for stargazing. A 9 would be like downtown Chicago at night. You can see everything around you because of all the artificial light, but it's really, really hard to see any stars.
That's right. There's a lot of ways to experience the absence of light and lots of ways to feel about it. With that in mind, we've made a list of books that celebrate the night. Some are spooky, some are filled with great information, some will make you feel warm and cozy. And in one in particular, the dark itself is a character.
The dark is a character?
You'll see. But first, let's talk about exploring in the nighttime. There's a whole world out there when the lights go out. Fox Explores the Night by Martin Jenkins, illustrated by Richard Smith. This nonfiction picture book for preschoolers to about second grade is part of the first science storybook series, and it reads just like a story. And I love how you can read it just as such, the story of a very determined, hungry fox out at night to find a yummy meal. And that, friends, is not an easy task. But if your little ones show some interest, you can use the story to talk with them about light and dark. Where does light come from during the day? Where does it come from at night? What happens when you put a solid object in front of a light? And so on.
I love that. I love experimenting with light and shadows. I have another book that explores light and dark. It is called Flashlight. It is written and illustrated by Lizi Boyd. This is a beautiful wordless picture book that shows a child emerging from a tent in the middle of the night in the woods with a very important tool, a flashlight. Most of the page is shown in shadowy lines, but we can see that the forest is alive. The magic happens in the areas that are hit by the beam of light. They dazzle with detail and splashes of color. This excellent book offers surprises. It has a great sense of humor and lots of opportunity for conversation, including maybe don't go for nighttime walks in the woods without your grown-up, whether you have a flashlight or not. This book is sure to inspire lots of curiosity and creativity. And in case you can't tell, I really love the dark, and nighttime walks are my favorite. I love how when you go outside at night, everything looks the same, but also different. I have another book that explores those nighttime jaunts. So this is The Night World. It's written by Mordicai Gerstein. This dreamy picture book starts with a very insistent cat dragging her boy out into the night world, or the world at night. The boy marvels at how different the world looks at night. He tries to identify objects that he sees in the light of every day. This book is quiet, it's gentle and celebratory. It's an excellent read for anyone who doesn't feel fully comfortable in the dark. As the book comes to an end, we see the sky start to get lighter and lighter until dawn breaks and the world absolutely explodes with color.
Beautiful.
It's really beautiful. I love the way the sky looks in this picture.
Yeah. I have one that explores the sky. It's called Usha and the Big Digger, and it's written by Amitha, Jagannath Knight, and illustrated by Sandhya Prabhat. I still remember the very first time I really saw the stars, the Milky Way and the constellations, and it was on a trip to the Canadian Rockies. I was already an adult, and it felt like magic, and it felt like I was the very first person to ever experience this. I really like how this and all the other titles in the Storytelling Math series use really engaging stories to illustrate math concepts. Usha and Artie look up to the stars and they see different things. Artie sees a Big Dipper, but Usha sees the Big Digger. Then their cousin Gloria sees the Big Kite. Could they all be right? Well, yes. Looking at the night sky facing different directions makes what we call the Big Dipper look very much like a digger or even a kite. If you feel like taking this even further with your children, All the books in this series end with more information as well as fun activities you can try at home. Best of all, these activities are super simple and use materials you're very likely to already have.
This is beautiful. I love the colors in this book.
Mhm.
Gudrun, I had a really similar experience to your, you were in in Colorado when you looked at.
In Canada, in Banff National Park.
Yeah, I don't know much about astronomy, but I love looking up at the night sky too. And I had that experience in Hawaii on the Big Island, just looking up, and it was so dark. I felt like I was like somehow being sucked up into outer space.
Exactly.
It's so weird. You feel so little and so,
Right.
I don't know.
Yes.
It's amazing, breathtaking. Well, I also have a book about sky exploration, but in a slightly different way. This is Every Soul a Star by Wendy Mass. This fantastic middle grade novel takes place on the Moonshadow Campground, which is an isolated spot that's perfect for exploring the night sky. We're talking a 1 on the Bortle scale. A once-in-a-lifetime solar eclipse is coming. So we're talking it's bright daylight and then it goes to night. And due to its spectacular views, thousands of people from all over the world are descending on the Moonshadow. Here we meet 3 middle schoolers with widely different lives and perspectives. They meet each other and they are forever changed. This is a beautiful, introspective piece of realistic fiction with lovable characters and fascinating science. We, the reader, are taken along as the world goes from light to dark in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I also have a book about going from light to dark. Here's a story about what happens when a city goes from a 9 on the Bortle scale to a 1. This is an award-winning picture book called Blackout by Rocco. It started out as a normal summer night. The city was loud and hot. Beep, beep, roar. People in their houses and apartments were doing regular things, like watching TV, talking on their phones, cooking, playing games. And one little girl looking for someone in her busy family to play with her. Nobody has time. But then the lights go out, all of them. And when it became too sticky and hot to stay inside, lots of people went out on the roof and to the street. They saw the stars and they saw their neighbors. It turned into a fun party, and no one was too busy to play with our friend, the little girl. I like that.
So sweet. I love that picture book.
Mhm.
Beautiful. So we've established that there's a whole world out there at night. Let's talk a little bit about those things that live in the dark. I have 2 books that showcase our nocturnal friends. Glow, Animals with Their Own Nightlights by W.H. Beck is the first one. The absolutely stunning photos are what drew me to this amazing nonfiction picture book about bioluminescent animals. Bioluminescence is kind of like a superpower that helps living things make friends, hide, find food, even communicate in the total darkness. Scientists haven't even figured out all the different reasons for bioluminescence. You can enjoy this wonderful read aloud with kids as young as 4. And in this case, you would just read the text in the larger letters, or you read the smaller text with kids that are interested in a little bit more detail. Animals glow on land, in the air, and especially deep in the ocean where sunlight can't reach. The end pages include much more information about each living thing featured in its, including its size and where you can find it.
These pictures are so
They're
cool.
amazing. The photography is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
My next one is called After Dark, Poems about Nocturnal Animals, written by David L. Harrison and illustrated by Stephanie Labaris. The world outside, and even inside our homes, does not rest just because we go to sleep at night. There might actually be more activity after dark when humans are not in the way. I think this one's a really fun one to read together with your maybe 1st to 4th grader. It's perfect for browsing. There are 21 gorgeously illustrated rhyming as well as non-rhyming poems about different nocturnal animals, ranging from the gray wolf to cockroaches. Yes, cockroaches. The poems weave in some pretty cool facts as well. And for those craving even more information or clarification about some of those facts, you can check out the Did You Also Know pages at the end of the book. And I thought I'd read one poem, and it's called Owl Rules, and it's about the screech owl. Never work for food. Sit on your perch with sleepy eye till something creeps or flutters by. Eat whatever. Mice are nice, but so are bats, worms, squirrels, tadpoles, jays, doves, frogs, rats, lizards, rabbits, moles. Who needs a nest? Don't waste the effort with twigs and thatch. They're only eggs, they're gonna hatch. Tease campers. If you time your whistles right, you'll keep them sleepless half the night.
Gudrun, do owls not build nests?
They go into burrows. The screech owl. The screech owl does not build nests. They find little holes in the trees and they burrow inside.
That's really interesting.
Just like on that picture, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, there are different kinds of nests for different kinds of birds. I learned that because I play a bird game called Wingspan.
Oh, that's cool.
So many different facts about birds. So.
Shelley, is it online or is it like an app?
No, it's neither. It's actually a good old-fashioned board game.
Oh, so fun.
Cool.
So fun.
Well, I also have a beautiful book of poetry about nocturnal creatures, and not only creatures, but even some of the nocturnal actual plants and trees that do different things at night than during the day. Who knew? And this one's called Dark Emperor and Other Poems of the Night by Joyce Sidman, illustrated by Rick Allen. And I'm just going to read you a little bit of one of the poems. Welcome to the night. To all of you who crawl and creep, who buzz and chirp and hoot and peep, who wake at dusk and throw off sleep, welcome to the night. Not only is this an award-winning book by the wonderful Joyce Sidman with beautiful illustrations, but you also learn some really cool things about night creatures called nocturnal animals. For instance, I didn't know what a baby porcupine was called. You know, like a baby cow is called a calf.
Yeah, what is it called?
Do you guys know?
No.
Yeah.
It's called a porcupet.
No.
With a Porcupette. It's so cute.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
I know, totally perfect name. And I had never heard of a red EFT before. It's a really cool lizard-like creature. It starts out as a red spotted newt born in the water. Then it spends 2 to 4 years on land as a land roving eft. And then it fades to an olive green color, returns to the water, and grows new gills.
Wow.
Is that it? Kelly, is
Fascinating.
that it on this page? Is that
There-
little?
Yep, yeah, you can see it on the bottom of the page.
Is it on every page in the book, like a seek and find?
Oh, I'm not a good noticer, but I wonder.
Well, I noticed that on this page he's under the raccoon's paw, so I wondered if he was on every page.
Oh, I love
I
that.
love it. I love it when there's a little secret,
I don't know.
secret little thing in the book. You guys will have to try it and then let us know.
I can't wait. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we read some of these poems, we learn some of the facts, and then this is at the end. The night's a sea of dappled dark. The night's a feast of sound and spark. The night's a wild, enchanted park. Welcome to the night.
I love that.
Mhm.
Okay, we have established that there's a special kind of magic that can only happen at night. Let's talk about some of those dreamy journeys, the kind of stories that just wouldn't be the same in the daytime. I have This Was Our Pact by Ryan Andrews. This gorgeous middle grade graphic novel somehow makes me feel cozy and shivery at the same time, which is kind of like, that's why autumn is my favorite season, because I kind of feel like that all the time, like just a little bit shivery, but a little bit cozy. Love it. We start off on a cool fall evening where a bunch of kids have made a pact to ride their bikes as far as they can into the night to solve a mystery. One by one, the kids get cold or scared and turn around and head for home until there are only 2, and the road turns into something that neither of them have ever expected. This is a thrilling but not scary, wholly magical graphic novel. dim the lights, wrap up tight in a blanket, and get ready for the ride of your life. I love the illustrations in this one.
Mhm.
I love when the kids are smiling and their teeth show so much. It's really
Yeah.
cute. Yeah, this was an unexpected. It started out one way and then kind of ended a little bit differently than I thought it would.
Totally.
So Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston is my next book. And really, it's a little bit scary. And I thought since since October is a kind of a month of scary things that I would include this one and one more scary book. So it's a fantasy, mystery, adventure, slightly creepy series, all rolled into one. And this is the first book. 13-year-old Amari's brother, and you can see her on the cover, Quentin, has gone missing, and she's determined to find him. Other people might say that he's never coming back, or even that he's dead, but she's not buying it. When she finds an odd briefcase in his closet containing a nomination form for a summer tryout at the same summer camp that he's been going to for years, she applies. And she finds out it's actually a training school for the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs agents. She had no idea that there were mythical creatures surrounding us all the time that we couldn't see, and that magic was real. And she must compete against kids who've known about this world their whole lives and have been doing some training for it. She has to learn magic, pass dangerous trials, and ultimately defeat a terrifying enemy.
Wow.
I agree, Shelley. I thought this book was really thrilling too. It was very exciting. And I think there's a movie in the works.
Wow.
Ooh, I know there's a second book that's already come out.
I know. Have you read it yet?
No.
I haven't either. I'm pretty pumped. I know there's a lot of kids who are really excited about it, but I think as I was sort of messing around on the internet, I think I saw that they're talking about making a movie of this one, which I think will be a humongous hit.
Yep.
I will go see it. So yes, thrilling, excellent, magic. I'm going to take us in another direction. This one is about something that happens to all of us, but it can feel kind of magical. Happens to most of us every single night. I'm talking about dreaming. I have In the Night Kitchen. It is written and illustrated by one of my all-time favorites, Maurice Sendak. And here we begin with Mickey. He's trying to sleep, but all of that changes when he falls out of bed and out of his clothes and into a big vat of batter. Will he be turned into Mickey Cake? He will not. He pops up out of the bowl fully clothed in a battered jumpsuit, and of course he makes a fully functional dough plane that he uses to escape being baked. I love everything about this book. Several pages have a very graphic novel feel to me, which would be very early, and I love that. There is a lot to discover in the illustrations. Fun fact, this book has won a ton of awards, including a Caldecott Medal, but due to Mickey's occasional nakedness, it is also the subject of multiple bans and challenges. So this includes a history of teachers, librarians, I know, not cool, and private citizens drawing clothes on Mickey to make it more appropriate. So I found two examples of this censorship that I thought you'd find interesting. They are located in articles and posts in School Library Journal and the ALSC, that's the Association for Library Services for Children blog, respectively. And I think we'll have links to those articles in our description. But I thought these pictures were so interesting. Somebody went in there and drew little pants on Mickey.
Oh my
It's
God.
wild. And I guess it it still happens a lot. In my opinion and my experience, this book rings very true of parenting a young child. Both the wacky dream retelling, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then I did this, and the random nudity. It's just par for the course.
Right? So true. So
Thankfully, in
true.
my case, there has been no like tomfoolery with big vats of dough, so I'm thanking my lucky stars. Shelley, I think you have another dreamy book.
Do. This is also a picture book, The Night Gardener, and it's by the Fan brothers. They're amazing. One does most of the writing, and one does most of the illustrating.
Mhm.
Something amazing is happening on Grimlock Street, which is kind of a grim place, where William, a lonely, solitary boy, lives in an orphanage. Overnight, the trees start turning into beautiful leaf sculptures of animals called topiary. When William unexpectedly meets up with the artist at night, the night gardener, he works together with him and he becomes an artist in his own right. Over time, the leaves fall, winter comes, and it almost seems like the sculptures were never there. They just look like trees again. But the people of the small town were never the same. It's gotten a lot less grim on Grimlock Street,
Mhm.
and neither was William.
You cannot go wrong with a Fan Brothers book.
Oh gosh, yes.
They all look a little different too. I love that about them. The illustrations are always
Mhm.
incredible, but like all a little bit different.
Yep.
Okay, so the dark can be filled with magic, wonder, nocturnal creatures, stars, dreams, but for a lot of people, the dark can feel unsafe. And Shelley, I think you have a book that confirms those fears.
Yes, this is a book with the same title as the last one, called The Night Gardener again, but this one is by Jonathan Auxler. Okay, I am not a scary story person. When a commercial for a scary movie comes on TV, I literally close my eyes, put my hands over my ears, and go la 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 la, so I won't hear anything. But some books are worth a little bit of scariness, and this is one of them. He is such a great storyteller, this author. You will totally root for these two abandoned Irish siblings who travel from Ireland to England to work as servants in a decrepit old manor house. The house is creepy enough, but the old tree that lives outside the house is downright scary. And the malevolent spirit who haunts the estate is absolutely terrifying. This would make a great family read aloud for probably third grade on up, but it is not for the faint of heart, kids or grown-ups.
Whoa, that sounds really scary.
It's good. I love this book. I love everything
Yes.
Jonathan Auxler writes.
Yes. I've got The Dark by Lemony Snicket and illustrated by John Klassen. And these two together, I mean, this book had to be good. You might be afraid of the dark, but the dark is not afraid of you. That's why the dark is always close by. And that's a quote from the book. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely not too fond of dark spaces. Where's the dark hiding at your place? In Laszlo's house, the dark mostly lives in the basement, although at times it hides in the closet or even sits behind the shower curtain. Laszlo is afraid of the dark, but he's pretty matter of fact about it. As long as it stays in the basement, he's okay with it existing. After all, you can't have light without darkness. He even stops by to say hi to the darkness every morning. So he opens the basement door and he just greets the darkness. But one day, the unimaginable happens. The dark visits Laszlo in his room. And this is when you can really feel the tension building in this book. And I love how the story gets you to the edge of your seat before, spoiler alert, putting a huge smile on your face. This, I think, is perfect to read with kids who like their books a little bit scary, but not too frightening.
And here we have the dark as a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love this one. And that brings us to the end of our list. It's a really good one. You can find all these books and so many more in the kids' room at Skokie Public Library.
And if you can't find what you need, or you don't know what you need, we're here for you. In case you can't tell, Shelley, Caitlin, and I, along with the rest of the youth services team, love talking about books.
Come see us in person or fill out a Bookmatch request, and we will put together a personalized list and email it to you. You can do that at the desk or you can do it online. We offer a book match for grown-ups, teens, and kids age kindergarten and up. So check it out at skokielibrary.info.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Come see us at the library or just join us here next month for more exciting book conversations. Bye!
Bye!
Bye.